This is Sandcast, beach volleyball with Tri Bourne and Travis Mawerder, presented as always by our buddies at Wilson Volleyball, who we can now get new Wilsons because it's AVP season. Although not for the McNamara twins. Megan and Nicole, you guys are about to get on the world tour. You guys are going to be seeing plenty of each other.
I know. We just talked
soon.
about
Your
it.
schedules are pretty much the same.
Yeah, that's cool.
So you guys no break between UCLA national championship. Congratulations.
Thank you.
By the way, and now have you taken a nice down week to calm down before it's Brazil to China to Czech and everything?
So we're just going to keep going, play Brazil, play China, and then come back to LA and take a few weeks to just relax.
Okay.
Our graduation, and then making the move to Toronto.
Okay. So is that where Canada beach volleyball is at the center of it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Volleyball Canada training
Okay.
center.
So that's the Hermosa Beach of Canada.
Yeah.
Also, they do have a training center, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Their own courts. Do they have a weight room?
Yeah.
Medical,
There's a weight room
all
in
that?
there, but most of the teams will train at the CSIO. It's their Olympic training center for a lot of the national teams there. It's cool.
I didn't realize that because so many of the Canadians come down here and they end up.
Yeah.
Well, now it seems like they're all moving here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the facility is indoors, so a lot of the teams will come down here right before the season to play outdoors in the wind.
Yeah.
I was going to wonder that.
great.
So you have indoor beach courts,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Very
So you can train year round. And where were the courts that you guys grew up playing and training? Because it's not. I would say that beach volleyball wouldn't be a super popular sport in Canada, but we're starting to see a ton of Canadian success in the sport. So where did you guys do your training? Are there a decent amount of indoor facilities?
There's one in Vancouver where we practiced, and then there are a couple in Ontario.
Okay.
And those are kind of the two hubs in Canada where most of the athletes are coming from. But yeah, we can train 4 months, 5 months out of the year outside, and then the rest indoors.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they have big heaters to
Yeah,
heat
like
up
a big warehouse. It's 4 courts. Yeah.
I feel like we would benefit from having that. I mean, because we can always suck it up and go out here, but it's pretty cold. You guys train out here in the
we
winter,
got used to
obviously.
the LA weather, so we found the earlier months, January and
But
February.
when we first
Yeah,
got to LA,
and you're
and a lot of the
Canadian.
girls would complain about it being cold, and we're like, this is not cold. It's February. This is nice.
I am
Yeah.
the worst. I'm from Hawaii. My hands, my fingers go numb. I'm like, this isn't right.
Yeah.
It's torture.
Yeah.
You should
I
see
wear
the outfits
gloves.
that this guy's wearing.
Yeah, I
It's
get
60
teased.
degrees, and he's long sleeve sweatshirt, sweatpants, beanie, mittens.
I wear gloves to warm up, yeah. Little grips on it so I can still set. And then, practice starts to get a little ugly, and then I take the gloves off. Yeah.
Making
I like
fashion
to be warm.
statements.
I like to sweat. If I'm not sweating in a whole practice, that means it's cold. Or I'm not working hard at all.
What's the weather in Itapema right now? Have you checked?
No, that's a good idea. You guys didn't check?
Probably nice.
We probably should have checked.
I just looked at Austin today.
I was
It's supposed
assuming
to
it's
rain
going
all
to be
next week.
hot. I was assuming it's going to be
Yeah.
80 and
Have you been
humid.
to Brazil before?
Yeah, a lot. It's usually hot. But this is still early in the summer. I mean, summer hasn't really started, right? But yeah, it's usually hot and humid. So that's that tropical weather, which I like from Hawaii.
Have you guys played in Brazil? This will be your first time? And congrats on getting the wild card into the main draw. That's not a bad start.
Huge.
That is
nice.
huge.
Relieves a lot of stress.
Yeah, I bet. How I guess explain for the listeners how a team would go about getting a wild card spot, because I think that's always a really hazy matter in beach volleyball.
I mean, we just checked the list, and it said wild
Did you
card,
apply
so-
for when you registered?
No,
did
Volleyball
you
Canada does it. So
Oh,
you don't,
okay.
We don't really have
Okay.
a say in it. It's based on points, and Volleyball Canada has a system.
Okay.
They follow, yeah.
Got it. Well, that's a huge start.
Yeah, it's a long travel day, so
Yeah.
it'd be nice to.
And so, I mean, you guys have are rolling right now. You got into world champs, which congrats. That's awesome. So I'm
Thank you.
sitting with 3
Yeah.
people getting to world champs. It's not bad.
Yeah, we're stoked on
Yeah,
that
yeah,
one.
pumped.
That is a
Exciting.
really fun event.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You've played in the World Champs before?
Yeah, 2015. I got to play in that. And it's a big deal. It's the kind of event where you're like, all right, now this makes us feel important. You know, there's big dinners and like, I mean,
It's
it
10
depends.
days, right?
It's 10 days. So
That is
it's
such a
hard.
long event.
Well, it's like the Olympics.
Yeah.
You actually don't play every day. You play every other day. And it's
Weird.
one match. We're used to being like tired and beat up, and we already played one that day.
Yeah.
So it's weird like having a whole day off, and it's hard to carry your momentum through each match. But you get really high level matches because you just have one and you're just fully amped up for it. Germany's a great place to play. Hamburg's actually a really cool town. It's a big volleyball town.
Awesome.
It's where I believe the whole German national team trains there. I've been to their facility like multiple times. So it's going to be cool. And I believe it's at the same like tennis venue. So it's like a big stadium in the middle, and then there's little tennis stadiums surrounding it.
Cool.
So the side courts are like really cool courts as well.
Nice. Yeah, we played in Munich last summer for the World University Games, and we loved it.
Oh, yeah.
Germany's really nice.
I heard that those are like super fun.
Yeah, it was really cool because it was all like people around our age.
Because that's like mini Olympics, sort of, right?
Totally.
The one we did wasn't multi-sport. It was just
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I
Oh.
think they alternate years.
Okay.
So every other
What's
year
the
it's
difference?
multi-sport.
World University Games and the other one's World University. It's like a different name.
World University Championships, maybe.
Yeah, maybe something.
Yeah.
I was supposed to go to the championships or whatever. The one that was only beach volleyball, but I didn't end up going. I did get to go to the World University Games, which is like the Olympics.
The multi-sport one.
The multi-sport one, yeah.
Yeah, we did
pretty
the Youth Olympics back in 2014 in
That's
China,
gotta be
and it
huge.
was like it felt like a mini Olympics. Like it was
Yeah.
really cool. So it was like you said, games every other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Opening and closing ceremony.
I think that's
That's
so
awesome.
valuable just to have that experience of like, you know, especially like for us, I'm sure we all aspire to go to the Olympics. So just to have that under our belt and feel what that's like to have to play in, for your country, but like also with all the other athletes
Totally.
around. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
You guys have played in some cool events. What's is there one that sticks out to you guys as one of the cooler ones or more memorable ones? Obviously, winning twice in Gulf Shores is probably up there, but I mean, you guys have played in some really cool stuff.
Alabama's special, just like the format of it, because when we go to these tournaments, it's just the two of us, international ones. So having like all of our teammates, and it's just fun being able to like celebrate with the whole team. But with just the two of us, I think the Youth Olympics was just like out of this world.
Yeah,
It was so cool. It
Because
was
we were also very young.
yeah.
It was a long time ago.
yeah.
It was really cool.
How different is the dynamic between college, like where, like you said, like, and you guys are really close at UCLA too, where you have like that full team, and it's literally like a team sport, you know, because even if say court 5 loses, you know, courts 1, 2, and 3 can seal it up, and like UCLA wins, and then you have it's just you guys. So is it difficult to adjust to that new dynamic?
Very.
It's the weird thing is like you can win your match, but then UCLA loses, so you're like happy
Just
and then
such
you're
a
bummed
conflict
and
of
you're
emotions.
like, what am I supposed to feel right now? Or vice versa, you're all pissed about your loss, but then the team's all stoked. And
Yeah.
Totally.
It's bizarre. It's a very bizarre feeling.
Yeah,
And the points are kept separately, so there's an individual points and a team points happening throughout the season. Is that how it works?
Well, you'll keep your individual record as a pair,
Right.
but like
'Cause
this school, it's just based on like the duel with another university.
Right. And but isn't there like a specific pair national champion?
There used to be.
Oh, so they don't have that
They
anymore?
don't have that anymore.
Got
a few
it.
years ago, I think Sarah and Kelly won. The pairs won.
Right.
When USC also won 1 year.
That's what I was thinking. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Could you guys see that format like coming out to the pro tour or even international, where it'd be your country instead of your school?
Oh,
That'd be pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
That would be cool.
I would love to see that,
That would
happen.
be really
have
cool.
like a Ryder Cup where you could have like the U.S. versus Brazil versus
At least a
Canada.
one-off event.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
I mean, we're on board with that. I mean, our Canadian women's teams are just
Yeah, you guys are
Phenomenal.
stacked right now. You guys are totally
We'll
on
jump
board
on
with that.
board.
Yeah.
Totally.
Where do you guys stand in the Canadian mix of things in points wise?
right now we're the third Canadian.
Okay,
team.
so it's Heather Bansley and Brandy Wilkerson 1.
Yes.
And then Sarah Pavin, Melissa Humana Paredes 2, and then you guys are in at the 3. Okay.
And then I think it's Sophie Vukovic and
Taylor Pischke.
Okay. Where did Taylor go to college?
She went to the University of Manitoba for indoor back
Okay.
in Canada, but I'm pretty sure she did a year in Santa Barbara or somewhere in California. She
Okay.
Here.
So I feel like, because I recognize the name, I didn't know
Yeah.
if it was from college or if she's just played in like local events. But I know that Sophie went to USC.
Yes.
And I met her at a Norseca in Martinique. She was playing it with Alex Paletto, who's also
we're
at
good
USC.
friends with Alex.
Yeah.
And Sophie.
Is it funny playing like your like country women at like UCLA versus USC, even though you don't directly match up with Alex?
Yeah, it's a weird dynamic because like
Yeah.
we're such good friends, but then like there's the whole UCLA USC rivalry that
Yeah.
people are like so into. Like
So even like being at those tournaments, like if we're seen talking to Trojans,
Is that more for the fans, that rivalry, or is it like on court too? Because everything, I mean, it was a really intense match, but I didn't know if that was any more intense because it was USC UCLA, or if like, I mean, a Pac-12 championship was on the line the first time, and then NCAA championship was on the line the second time.
I mean, the USC girls are all nice and friendly, but
Yeah.
there is something about like the rivalry where
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
if we're playing USC, it's like we can't lose to USC.
Right.
Like
totally.
it feels even better beating them.
yeah.
Yeah. How fun was that vibe too for Pac-12s? And I know it didn't end up going your way, but like people were lining the parking garage, and
Yeah,
like
it
Mark
was
Schuerman
sweet.
jumped the fence to get in because it was
stopped
too
letting
packed.
people
They
in
stopped
at
letting
one
people
point.
in. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was a
So-
really fun event.
Yeah. Was it? I feel like that's like, and USC is like the perfect stadium for that because it's small enough where you can get that really tight crowd like that. Is that one of the funner atmospheres to play in?
Yeah,
It was fun. It didn't really work in our favor just because it was
Right.
mostly USC fans, which definitely played to their advantage. But it
Yeah.
is a cool atmosphere, and it's fun that so many people are wanting to come out and watch college beach volleyball.
Yeah.
What's the best place to play for NCAA besides your home courts?
The courts at Stanford are beautiful.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, they're newly renovated, and it's good for fans also. They have this nice like grassy area where you can sit.
Yeah.
They're really nice.
Fuller's doing it right.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
What about for atmosphere, like fans coming in and cheering and that kind of thing?
I'd say Gulf Shores.
Other than Gulf Shores.
Oh, other than Gulf Shores, or
Sure, Gulf Shores, but that's what.
Yeah, probably Gulf Shores.
And what school's home court is Gulf Shores?
Alabama
one?
Birmingham hosts it.
Okay.
They haven't played in the tournament, but
Okay,
they're
got it.
technically the host. But there's a youth tournament just down the beach, so all the girls after playing or in between games will come and watch.
That's
and
awesome.
So it's pretty fun.
There's a big volleyball fan base down there, from
Yeah.
what I hear.
It's surprising.
I've heard that. I mean, people have said that they really want AVP to go there to that specific beach.
It's a really
They would do a
beautiful
great
beach.
job hosting an AVP.
Wow, you would never think
should.
Alabama
Yeah.
for beach volleyball.
That's where I
we
learned
didn't
how to
know
play.
what expect.
You learn how to play at Gulf Shores.
So the Hangout is this restaurant that that's where all the beach courts are. That was the first open tournament I ever played in. Was
Wow.
at the Hangout, yeah. And you wouldn't expect, like, when you hear Alabama, you don't think like the most beautiful beach like you've ever seen, but it is like a gorgeous beach, like white sand, like that
No way.
Caribbean teal water. Yeah,
I've seen pictures. Yeah, it looks like the Caribbean or maybe
Yeah.
Florida or something like
Summer.
that.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
yeah. People
don't think I've
realize,
ever
like,
played
how great
down
it
there.
is. Yeah.
I didn't get to play in New Orleans.
Well, New Orleans is always weird because the facilities are like, it's like chain link fences.
Those were like the
and-
worst events I heard.
because it always just got rained out.
Right.
Yeah, you could like swim at Coconut one year.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
It's fun.
But I'm always surprised by how many fans go out to Gulf Shores because Gulf Shores is close to, it's convenient for no school except for Alabama Birmingham because like especially for like Poly, which had to drive up to San Jose, fly into like Houston, fly into Pensacola, drive an hour and a half, and then like
It's a
Stetson
trek
had like
to
a
get
6
there.
hour. Yeah, it's always, I wonder if they can pick, even though Gulf Shores is like perfect in terms of like conditions and it's picturesque. They can pick like a location that's easier for people to
Yeah.
get to. I feel like if like LSU, like their courts would be perfect for that. Have you guys played there yet?
I think UCLA is planning on going there next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they have like a beautiful stadium. They also have like a bunch of facilities around there too, like in Baton Rouge. That
Oh,
are,
really?
Yeah, because they used to play at this place called Mango's, which it's a lot like Stanford actually, where they have like stands and then like 5 or 6 courts. So that would be a good place to host one too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but Gulf Shores is
Yeah, Gulf
gorgeous.
Shores is pretty special, but it would be nice in California, much more convenient.
True. Slight home court advantage.
Yeah. UCLA, we're renovating our courts, I think, in
August.
August, yeah.
Okay, because you guys you have 2, right? And then are they adding more?
Yeah, they're
Yes.
expanding it. So we have 2 that are kind of like this way, and
Okay.
sometimes we'll move them this way, but then there's no serving room.
Yeah.
And so yeah, they're expanding them. 4 courts, I think, like
Bleachers.
bleachers.
We'll get a
and-
locker room
nice.
up
Yeah.
there.
will be really nice.
Do you guys
Just
get some
when we
fans
watch.
coming out? Because I haven't been to
That's
a
awesome.
UCLA
Yeah,
home match yet.
Yeah, we have a couple home games a year, but it just takes a long time because we have to do 3 rounds.
Right.
But we got a decent amount of fans.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun.
You,
It's fun
you,
playing.
you
at
win a
home.
lot. It's easy to root for a team that wins.
Yeah.
And your next class coming in, like you guys are leaving the program in pretty good hands too.
Oh yeah, our freshman class this year was very strong, and I think we have a strong one coming in.
Yeah.
It'll be exciting to see how they do next year.
Have you guys thought about like the role that you played? Because I know when I talked to Stein at the beginning of the year, he was like, our program is kind of designed around the way that the McNamaras play. It's just like this ball control, really steady, consistent. Like, have you like kind of embraced the role that you played in helping build the program into the, like 2-time back-to-back national championships?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty special. Like, Stein always believed in us from the beginning and said, I'll let you 2 play together until something better comes along, or
Right.
it shows that you'd be stronger with someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, a lot of the girls on our team are our height or an inch or 2 taller. So, I mean, it obviously worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it that you guys think makes you so good? Because I think for a casual beach volleyball fan, they would see 2 like 5'9", 5'10".
Yeah, 5'9".
Girls, and they'd probably think, how are they going to do that? Like go against a Brandy and a Heather, for example. What do you think it is that makes you guys so good and able to play at the level that you do?
We rely a lot on our serving, getting the other team out of system, and
Just ball control in
yeah.
general and speed. So we worked on
Fast
faster offense.
Yeah,
And I think just that we've played together for so long also.
that helps.
Yeah, it definitely helps not having to communicate as much. We kind of know where each other are on the court at all times.
Yeah. It's kind of like what you're able to do with Trev. Even though you're not twins, you grew up together for the most part.
Yeah. Same height. Yeah, no, that, I mean, definitely helps.
Yeah.
Trevor and I, we just jumped out there last year and we're winging it, but somehow, like, I've seen him play so much, he's seen me play so much, we just kind of figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that chemistry definitely, I could see that
Important.
helping, especially when you have the twin connection. That helps.
can help us and hurt us.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Trevor could not play with his brother. Well, they played well, but they didn't get along so well. That
They
part-
didn't last quite as long as you guys.
That
Like,
part's
how long
tricky.
have you been playing together for? Like, when did you start playing
Our
beach?
first tournament ever, we were 12.
Okay.
Beach volleyball. That's cool.
Yeah, we were young. And I think we were scrapping. One of us kicked sand at the other. Our parents were screaming. Yeah. But yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Wow.
9 years now.
Dang.
I couldn't survive for 9 years playing with my brother. Like, we definitely would have killed each other by now. It seemed like you guys, like, because obviously you would get, like, you could see that you get a little frustrated with one another at points, but it looked like you did also a really good job of, like, being like, okay, well, that was just 1 point, and then the next play you just, like, hugged it out, like, we're good to go again. Is that something that, like, you've had to work on a little bit? Because I know that, like,
Definitely.
siblings fight. That's just the way it goes.
Right.
Yeah, we've had to work a lot on that, like just connecting and like coming together after a bad point rather than like just turning our backs and not clapping hands, because we have lost some games where we've kind of got on each other a little bit. So Stein, he helped us out a lot and like made it a focus, and he wouldn't tolerate us fighting at practice.
Yeah. That's really funny.
I was just thinking about that. I was like wondering if the coaches helped you guys with that dynamic at all, because now we're transitioning to the world tour where there's a little more stress, a little more, I mean, I don't know if you guys have a coach, first of all, but you guys ready for that transition? Have you like thought about it in terms of it being a little more stressful maybe?
I think one thing that's different is that if it's just the 2 of us out somewhere in the world, we kind of also just need to lean on each other, because
It is so stressful.
Totally.
So
Yeah.
I think that kind of helps.
Yeah.
Because we kind of are, like cushioned in UCLA with like all the support, all of our teammates. And
Yeah.
it's just like we can kind of get away with it. Also knowing that like our 2s through 5s have our back.
Right.
So I think that just like knowing, okay, we invested a lot of time, money, we're out here, like we need to come together.
Yeah, because
Like,
we didn't find fighting to be a huge issue when we played on tour last summer.
Yeah.
Which was a huge
That's awesome.
positive.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't expect it to be an issue, but I definitely like know that throughout the year, and there's always highs and lows. But I'm thinking like, if I was in college and I had 4 other teams there that I could kind of be like, all right, well, we're part of this bigger thing. And then I have coaches that are coaching all of us, then it might be a little bit more of a cushion, not to scare you guys on the World Tour.
Yeah.
But also, you're playing for Team Canada, which is similar, but not similar because they're also your direct rivals. Like, them doing well doesn't really help you, which I wish it did. I wish we all kind of could work together more as a country.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, the other guys are pretty much enemy number one for us because we're all fighting for the resources at USA Volleyball. But, yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting change in dynamic, to say the least. But obviously, you guys are going to do well.
We're excited.
Yeah.
So that's why we gotta have these country versus country exhibitions, like the college models.
I think
and
we
can root for each
other. That would
other.
be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be
It'd be
really
great.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, what was that snow tournament that you went to? What was that like?
That was a riot because like there's no real precedent. Like they were changing rules mid-tournament. So like when that happens, like, and it was hilarious because in the technical meeting they're talking about the subbing. So there's 3 on the court and then you have a sub. So you can sub in and out once per set. And so Carissa Cook was like, so if we have a person who's serving really well, when their serve is finished, they score a point, can like they sub out and then sub back in to serve again. And the guy was like, that's a great question. He's like, you just found a good loophole. And they just changed the rule mid-tournament. It's really, so we were just like goofed around. It was so fun though. But everybody keeps asking about like the surface of the playing. So like it just changed throughout the day. So in the morning it was really packed because it iced over overnight. And then in like the mid-afternoon it was like playing in Huntington because like it was just slushy enough where you could move around. It wasn't, but then like afternoon was a disaster because you'd try to stop and you'd slide 4 feet. And so like the finals, like if you watch him, like Madison would go dig a ball and he'd have to like plant and then he'd be drifting.
Right.
Was it hard to warm up when it was so cold out?
It was actually like in Austria it was like 65.
Oh, really?
It was awesome. Yeah, it was perfect. Like we were playing in tank tops and shorts and soccer cleats. Of course. So it was so fun though.
I thought it'd be dangerous. Like for sure you're gonna tear a groin or something.
Yeah.
We all like made a pact that like we weren't like if we were gonna dive and it was risky that like we were just pulling out. Except Chase he dove into a ball block and like had a pretty good slash like down his side and you just get competitive and you do it. But we were all like, let's keep beach our priority here.
Right. Yeah.
But it was fun, and it's crazy that, like, so the CEV, which is the European Federation, has been putting these on for 11 years, which I had no clue. But the FIVB is jumping in now because they want it to be an Olympic sport, so they get more funding from the IOC. So now they're, like, really pushing it. So there's another one in Argentina in August. So
That's awesome.
yeah. So USA, if you're listening, like, I'm down.
That's your guy right there. You guys have any interest being from Canada? You guys don't even have a team, I heard.
I don't think we have a snow team.
Out of all countries to not have a team.
I think we're from Vancouver, so we're kind of babies with the cold too.
Okay,
like
got
it
it.
doesn't get too cold there.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, Toronto will be a shock for us, I think.
So Toronto.
It's much colder there.
Yeah, so can you, like, lay out so there's Vancouver, which is, like, just north of
straight
here,
up
right?
above Seattle.
Okay.
Oh,
Rain,
that's right.
West
Okay.
Coast.
Got it.
cold, but not like
Right.
bone chilling.
Yeah.
cold,
Right.
Like East Coast. So
Okay.
Toronto, it's like you don't want to leave your house sometimes.
Okay.
Right.
Isn't it like, why doesn't Canada just move there?
It's a great question. If you're listening, move to Vancouver.
Yeah. Toronto's kind of a sports capital for Canada, right? I feel like
Yeah,
a lot of
I
their
would say
pro
so.
teams are out there.
Yeah.
It's a cool city too. I mean, I got to go there in the summer, so I thought it was great.
We've heard good things. We've heard that it's fun for young professionals our age. So
Yeah, for sure.
we'll see. We're gonna go in with an open mind.
I had no idea that, like, do you guys speak French? I had no idea that, like, that was such a popular language in Canada, because I used to teach journalism to students, and a lot of the kids moved here from Canada, and they all spoke French.
That's more of a Quebec thing.
Okay.
East Coast.
Okay.
Yeah. In Vancouver, like in school, we were always allowed to choose between French and Spanish.
Okay.
Or Mandarin.
Or Mandarin, of course.
Mandarin. What'd you guys choose?
Spanish.
Spanish.
Yeah, because our family spends a lot of time in Mexico.
Damn, I wanted to hear you guys speak Chinese.
That would be really helpful.
For all of our
Honestly,
Chinese listeners.
That
on
would
the
be
show.
helpful on the road.
Because some of the places we go, not many people speak English.
And it's
Yeah.
rare that we go to Spanish-speaking countries. Like most
Yeah.
Americans have learned at least a little Spanish, and we're going to. I don't think we're going anywhere that speak Spanish this year?
There was a 3-star in Chetumal. It was women's only in the fall, but apparently it might be men's and women's this year. And it was,
You guys had a great tournament there too.
yeah, that was one of the ones I was going to say was one of the most memorable. It was super fun. Like the town I think it was the most exciting thing
Where
we've
is
seen
that?
in a while. Right above Belize.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was
okay.
a pretty small town, and they filled the stadium. People were lining up down the street. They had to put projectors up
No way.
outside of the
Awesome.
stadium, and people were camping out hours before the games with chairs, trying to get
That's
a
so
spot
cool.
by the projector. It was
The town
amazing.
just like lit up. It was amazing.
Oh, that's sweet. I
After
didn't
games,
know.
they had to get tournament organizers, to help usher us from the court to
Really?
the van, because people would be like chasing, trying to get pictures,
That's so cool.
autographs. Like they loved it. It was
Sounds like they
awesome.
earned themselves a 4-star.
I know.
It should
Yeah.
be.
Get
It
the
really
real
should
tour
be.
out
And they
there.
need a bigger stadium.
They need a bigger stadium.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or I kind of like that it's packed there because I remember
Yeah.
watching the stream because you guys played Carrie Walsh and Brooke Sweat for bronze, which was an awesome match, by the way. You guys like came out firing in that first set too.
Yeah, that was a fun game.
Yeah, but I like how packed the stadiums get because when it goes too big and it's not filled, it just doesn't have that same vibe. But when they keep it
Like in
like
Vegas?
tight like that, like Vegas.
Yeah. How was it playing against Carrie in that match? Yeah, had you guys played her before?
No.
I know it's kind of like
It was pretty surreal,
Yeah.
honestly. Like we looked up at the board and it was like McNamara and then like Carrie Walsh.
Yeah.
Like, wow, like this is so cool because she was like the best of the best when we
Right.
first picked up a volleyball.
Right.
So it was pretty awesome.
Was there a Canadian player that you guys look up to? I know the guys looked up to John Childs and Mark Reese. I think we're kind of the two Canadian.
Marquise, yeah.
Marquise, there we go.
Yes.
But is there like a Canadian woman that you guys looked up to, or was it mostly like Carrie and Misty?
Misty May we always loved. 'cause,
Okay.
You know, she's our height and
Yeah,
yeah, like I just love the way that she played.
yeah.
But there's Jamie Broder. I don't know if you've heard
Not
of her.
sure.
She went to the last Olympics with Christina Valias,
Okay.
and she's around our height also. And we watched her at the Vancouver Open, one of our local tournaments, and we loved her. And when we couldn't accept prize money, we would always donate it to her.
Yeah. Oh, that's
So
awesome.
she sent us sports bras, and so we always kind
Wow.
of looked up to her also.
That's great. Is there a player now that you guys kind of look up to or try to emulate?
On not women's, but Cantor Loziak.
Uh-huh.
We love the way that
They're
they
great.
play.
I love
Yep.
watching those guys.
Yeah. So some of the coaches that we've worked with have told us to watch them and kind of emulate how they play, like their fast offense, because
Yeah.
that's what we're gonna have to do against the.
And you guys do that
girls.
really well. I feel like that you have the way you guys played made a lot of other teams in college like forced to do similar things because now other teams are starting to do it. You see a lot more girls hand setting and running those stuff. I feel like you guys were kind of like ushered that in.
Yeah, it was actually Jeff Alzina, our volunteer assistant last year, who
Great
kinda
guy.
implemented it. Yeah, we've always wanted to run a fast offense, but we never really did it our first couple of years at UCLA, just because with so many girls on the team, it was hard to have drills catered just to like for us.
Right.
So Stein kind of had to make it more like for all of the girls. So we never really got to work on it. But then Jeff came and he said, no, every girl on this team is capable of running plays.
Yeah.
So even at the beginning when it didn't look very good, he was like, nope, we're going to keep doing it. And people always say that that's what helped us win our first national championship last
Yeah,
year.
for sure. Because now you have like Sarah and Lily are running like back
Oh, yeah.
set shoot slides, and
Yeah,
like
it's
no,
crazy.
like blockers don't even try for it. Like they just like drop off and they're like, all right, nice.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
I'll just get back and serve receive.
you have to adopt a completely different blocking style to be able to match that kind of or defensive style, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, to match that. Because if you're doing the normal like small side steps, you're just not going to get there. You know, you really have to train to be able to cover ground as a blocker.
Yeah.
And if
then
you're
with
late
the
to
lefty,
everything,
we have the on two, like
yeah, and then you have to remember
Yeah.
to line up on the right shoulder of that person. And,
yeah.
and then you guys look the same, so you switch sides. Like, which one? Which arm is she going to hit with?
Actually, we have a funny story. She tore her labrum our second year
Mm-hmm.
and was all taped up, could barely swing. And I taped my left shoulder and we dressed matching head to toe. So then she'd get served a couple balls or it would hurt a bit. So we just flipped sides and no one knew. They'd just serve me. And we were like, okay.
That's what I think
Wow.
the Wits have done similar things
Yeah.
when I forget which one. One of them is like always hurt, but one of them like tore her oblique in an NVL. So they both
Yeah.
taped up, were matching sunglasses, switched sides all the time. So like no one knew, and they're like super identical too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good friends with them. So we always
Yeah.
talk about like what it's like to be a twin and
Is it funny to play other twins? Like, have you played the Norses or the Wits?
we've never played the Norses, but we've played against the Witt twins. They were the ones at Arizona our first 2 years, so we got to play them a few times.
Yeah.
And everyone loved it. Like, it was
It's
so funny.
it's a really funny match.
Do you guys think you gravitated towards beach volleyball because it's a double sport originally?
Definitely.
Because I'm wondering, I'm like, how is there so many twins showing up? I'm like, maybe it's like, you know, when you see a two-person sport, and it's a really popular sport for women, yeah, maybe that's just
Yeah. I mean, we started
natural.
with it more, but
We loved it.
it got to the point where we were, like, she was a setter, and I was an outside, and she was just setting me every ball, and Josh was like, you gotta, like, give other people some love. Like, maybe we should switch to beach.
If you want to set her every ball, go to the beach.
Yeah.
I like that. That makes sense.
Don't hit that skip button, everybody. We're going to be right back here with Sandcast. Just taking a brief second to give a big thanks to our sponsors. First and foremost, goes out to Wilson. Everyone should be stoked that the AVP season is coming up, which means that you need to order up your Wilson volleyballs or any other volleyball equipment you may need. So go to wilsonvolleyball.com to get that. Best news, you can get a discount, Wilson Sand. It's 20% off if you use our Sandcast Wilson discount. So hop on over, get your preseason equipment, get ready for the season coming up at wilsonvolleyball.com and use Wilson Sand for a 20% off discount. This show is also brought to you by our guys at Firefly Recovery. These guys are awesome. Tri just went to Doha and was using Firefly Recovery in the hotel room. They've got them in the recovery tents on the FIVB. They're the best things possible because they're super mobile. You can bring them on planes if you're traveling around the world. I'm about to use them when I go to Vienna and Italy for snow volleyball. You can bring them to work if you want. They just stimulate the blood flow in the area that's sore or injured, and it helps it recover way faster and also just feels really good. So if you're sore, if you're aching, or if you just want to stay on top of your recovery, use Firefly Recovery. It's the best thing on the market right now, and it's really cheap too. So give them a try. Go to fireflyrecovery.com. And now for our Pacific Coast Wealth Management Olympic FIVB ranking update. Leading the charge for the men is Russians Vyacheslav Krasilnikov and Oleg Stoyanovsky. At number 2, welcome aboard two-time gold medalist winners of Sydney and Doha, Esteban and Marco Grimalt, who are cousins, not brothers. Leading the way for the Americans at the moment, though that's likely to change here soon, is Tri-Born and Trevor Crabb. And for the women, at number 1 is Brazilians Rebecca Cavalcanti, winner of the P1440 Top Guns event, and Ana Patricia Silva. At number 2, from the U.S. is Emily Day and Betsy Flint, silver medalists in Sydney. Followed at number 5 is Brooke Sweat and Carrie Walsh-Jennings. And at number 6 is Kelly Clays and Sarah Sponso. More Americans at 11 and 13 with Brittany Howard and Kelly Reeves and Alex Kleiman and April Ross, respectively. So really solid showing in our Pacific Coast Wealth Management Olympic rankings update from the American women here. And now we're going to let you get back to the show. And how big is the college game getting now too? Because you look at it, and
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched any of the AVP or were able to like watch in between or just like downtime at Gulf Shores, but like Delaney Maple and Megan Kraft were both 16, committed to playing college, and they made a main draw and got a win in main draw, and then you had the Norses.
Yeah.
We're going to USC, and then like all these schools are getting like Stetson, an 8-beat and a 1, which I'm sure you guys probably enjoyed very much.
Thank you, Stetson.
I think the college game is just like exploding.
Totally. The difference from when we were freshmen to now, just how many girls are playing and just how much awareness there is around it, like how many people know about college beach volleyball. Because our first year, like people would be talking on campus, like, oh, beach volleyball, like, is that club? Like, they just had no idea.
Yeah.
But now it's like a real sport and people are excited about it.
And the talent, like 1s through 5s are all strong at a lot of the top schools.
Yeah.
Like, before there was a pretty big drop off, like 1s, 2s, and then kind of drop off. But now it's like every school has 10 strong girls.
Yeah. I was wondering, I was talking with Delaney, an assistant coach at Pepperdine, and I was like, I feel like there should be a way to weight the courts so you don't have teams like sandbagging. Because I feel like, say, if court 1 was worth 2 and court 2 was worth like 1.5, and then you had like maybe court 3 was worth like 1.25 and then 1.1. So that teams would really have to consider not throwing the ones, because I know that that's always like an ethical thing in college, because there's no like set rule that like
The coaches
can't do it. It's kind of like a sportsmanship thing. Yeah. So I know that like some coaches look at teams when they like drop their 1 to the 2 against like if they don't think they're going to beat Megan and Nicole, they'll drop their real 1s to the 2 because they know they weren't going to win on the 1 anyway,
And just throw them.
Yeah.
on.
and so they'll throw it.
So this format sounds really fun.
Yeah.
They got to bring.
There's a lot of gamesmanship.
I'm gonna go talk to Donald right now.
There's strategy for sure. Like Stein's pretty by the book. Like he doesn't like to.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty honest, and the girls who are beating other teams in practice, like it's pretty fair. It's not like he's just like, oh, I think you should be here.
Right.
We play matches all the time, but I think that would be good because a lot of schools are just doing some funky stuff. Like a girl goes from the 7s to the 1s out through the course of like a few matches.
Yeah.
What?
They talked about maybe, like, I think the school would draw who gets to pick first, and then that team would, okay, this is going to be our 1s, and then the next school would put up a team and say, okay, well, this team will play your 1s, and then they kind of go back and forth for who like places a team. There was talks about that, but I don't think anything ever came of it.
Yeah. I think it'd be good to kind of toy with that system where it's a little bit weighted at the top so teams aren't just tossing matches.
Yeah.
But then you don't want to like alienate the 5s.
Yeah.
It's like you're important too.
I know.
Our 5s was so important this year. They were.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's where you guys won your matches because I mean, the 1s were so strong across the board that, I mean, even like, you know, Tina and Abril and you guys were like not a sure thing. Like you're as close as it got. But then, you know, 2s and 3s were strong. And then it was pretty much whoever had like the strongest 3, 4, 5 was where it was won. And that's why like you guys in USC were so consistently strong.
Yeah.
Because you had that.
Getting those 2, the 4 and 5 against USC in the finals was huge for us.
Yeah.
Knowing we only had to win one of the 1 through 3.
Yeah, was that because I remember like I was watching the live stream and Dane Blanton was like, yeah, this is going to be really tough for USC to do. And even though like USC had that exact same situation in Pac-12s, like did you guys think about that you're like, well, our 4s and 5s took care of it in Pac-12s too, like just one team's got to do it.
Oh yeah, I was so nervous before that game. And I mean, we had lost to USC the last 3 times we played them as a school, so I think our whole team going into the tournament was kind of like, a little nervous. But I think that the elements played to our advantage. It was windy, deep sand. Like USC, there was no wind, hard court.
And they're tall.
And they're big girls, so
yeah.
it's like it just definitely wasn't our, setting.
Yeah. But I feel like Gulf Shores plays really favorably to you guys having like the wind, and you guys are such great servers too. But anytime you guys play Tina and Abril, like you just like have to sit down and watch it. Like it's just such high level volleyball.
I wish we could have finished our match in Gulf Shores.
I was wondering because it's always a different perspective. So in like national championships, if like a team gets seals up 3 matches, they just won't finish the other 2. And like, is that super frustrating for you guys? Because like some people are like, yeah, like I get to rest. And then, but I feel like the really competitive ones, like, no, I wanted Tina.
Yeah. I mean, I try not to look at the other courts and just focus on ours.
Yeah.
But during the final, I could see in the distance, like, that Zana and Abby, our 3s, had game point, and we were about to win the whole thing. So I was kind of just waiting, and then I heard screaming, dog pile, and we booked it. I felt bad we didn't shake hands with Tina and April, but we just wanted to be in on the dog pile.
Sure.
In that moment, we didn't care that our game wasn't going to finish. We were just like, we won. We were just high on life.
Yeah. Never been happy to have someone else take care of it.
When it's over,
there's like a horn, and then it's just like, well.
Do you know what court, or are you just like running somewhere?
To the dog pile. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Just where we heard the screaming.
It's really funny.
That sounds like a good time.
Yeah, it was super fun.
Can you imagine? We had that I feel like it would be really good for fans because
It'd be awesome.
Fans want to see the players more, just like the personalities and that kind of thing. And if every tournament you had the whole national team sitting there on the sideline cheering them on, that'd be really cool. Whereas like now we kind of like show up in our hats and like we're scouting and like I hope they lose. Oh yeah, go USA! I really hope they lose right now because they're gonna cost me some money, or I'm gonna drop in the ranking, or whatever.
Yeah,
it's different for all national teams, but it'd be pretty cool if we're all cheering together.
And if you look at any event that has like golf, I don't know if you guys are familiar with golf at all, but they have the Ryder Cup, which is the U.S. versus Europe every 2 years, and then you have the Walker Cup, which is for the younger. I think it's pretty much 26 and under, like similar style, and like people go crazy for that. Like the Ryder Cup's insane,
and it's a different vibe too, right? Like guys are getting fired up.
Yeah.
Like
fans are chanting like USA quiet. Like on a golf course. Like,
exactly.
You don't see that too often.
And you could have us out there like, I mean, realistically, we would probably be out there heckling the other team a little bit,
heck
cheering
yeah.
our guys on, but heckling the other team. And
Yeah.
can you imagine if you mic'd up? I mean, you might have to bleep out a few things here and there, but mic up the sidelines and
Don't
just
mic up
have
Trevor.
don't mic up Trevor. Yeah. But I mean, if you lose your match, but then you're still in it because your country's,
Yeah.
still going, and you're, probably playing for a significant amount of money. That this guy is going to go play to make money for you and your family. Like, half the guys out there have kids. That could be cool.
Yeah, so I think we got to make this happen after the Olympics, because I don't think anybody would want to do it before Tokyo.
No.
So 2021 would be the first World Cup of beach volleyball.
We have to talk to FIVB somehow.
Yeah, maybe get Hannes back in the game. He dropped Fort Lauderdale.
Or Sandcast.
We
just need a really big investor.
There you go. We got our first team right here. Anyone? You guys can be
Yeah,
the
we're
Canadian
in.
ambassador.
Investor? Maybe you.
You
I
guys,
like it.
and you mentioned too you wanted to bring up the Vancouver Open. I've heard it's awesome. Have you played in that?
Yeah, we've played a bunch. It's
Yeah.
such a fun tournament.
So
I hear
much
it's
fun.
great.
There's a beer garden. It's right on Kitts Beach. I don't know if you've been there.
Never been to Canada.
Never been? Oh, yeah. You have to come.
I left the country
Beautiful.
the first time in October, so
Oh, right.
yeah. So
Yeah,
now
I
I've
know.
just been traveling as much as possible.
It's a really
Leaving-
fun one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like how many teams are in it? Is it like a double elim, like kind of like
Double
AVP
limb
style? Or?
qualifier.
Okay.
Yeah, I play a lot of matches in one day, especially.
More Americans are starting to play. I know Katie Sealer was
I was
there.
wondering if Americans are like allowed to play, or if we
Yes.
need like a wild card or whatever to get in.
Maybe a wild card or at least the qualifier, because I think it's based on like our local point system, how you get
Okay.
into the tournament.
What
But
is the local point system in Canada? Is there like a domestic Canadian tour?
It's by province.
yeah, so we have
Okay.
the
Volleyball
volleyball
BC,
BC tournaments.
Okay.
There's like 5-6 events in
Okay.
the summer.
So you guys are probably officially retired from Vancouver Opens for a little while, though, I'd expect.
There's decent prize money actually. I think first place is $7,000.
It's not
And
bad.
if we could go stay at home with mom and dad and
Yeah, just
get
play some
fed
ball,
and get
for
driven,
sure.
then it could be a good payday
I
for
don't have
us.
to come all the way down to UCLA to watch you guys play.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It'd be fun to play in front of the home crowd.
Yeah, do you have like a decent Canadian following at this point? Like kind of backing you guys up?
Yeah.
I
That's
mean, we
cool.
started when we were so little, and
Yeah.
people that have been around for the 9 years that we've been
The
playing.
volleyball community is pretty small in Vancouver.
Yeah. That's cool that you guys probably have a pretty good American backing now, too, just like
Yeah.
with all you've done at UCLA, too.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Where do you stand in the Canadian rankings? Or not in the rankings, but like how far down are you from? Like, is 2020 something that you could do? Like, are they in reach?
Well, we're pretty far behind the top two, Heather and Brandy and Sarah and Melissa. Like, they're both top 5 in
Okay.
the world right now. So one thing we'd love is to go and be the training team.
Okay.
Or like the injury sub.
The Canadian Olympic Committee sends
Oh,
one
they're
team
gonna
to go
send a
train.
third
So
team?
you have,
Yeah.
okay.
That would have been nice last time. I could have gone to the Olympics.
Go serve some balls and
Yeah.
watch, hang out.
Brandy and Melissa were the training team last year
Oh,
for
what?
Or last
or last Olympics for Sarah.
Okay.
And
U.S. did not do that. Being cheap. Oh, that would be cool though. But I mean, you guys can still make an Olympic push.
Yeah.
First of all, it's
anything
really
can happen.
early.
Yeah.
Yes, they have good finishes, but the World Tour is very gnarly, and anything can happen. You guys, you only need 4 finishes to like jump. I don't know. You have 4 good tournaments in a row. You could be top 4 in the world.
Yeah.
Seeding wise, top 5 in the world, and then it just goes on finishes from there. So I mean, I think you guys are definitely in the race. Although it probably doesn't look great right now because those other 2 teams are doing so well. But yeah, I know. I think a goal for you guys for sure would be at least to qualify, So you can qualify top 16 in the world, right? That's an accomplishment. If the other 2 teams beat you out, so be it. But, I mean, qualifying,
Yeah.
you're going to have to practice doing that for the next squad, right? So going through that process the first time, I think, is going to be really beneficial.
Yeah, that's smart.
And, I mean, from what I hear, you guys are killing it, so... It should be a smooth transition. And these other Canadian girls, I was on the Norseca tour with a few of them. They were, all the way from the back. They moved their way up. So I think you guys are starting off on the World Tour at a much higher point than they did. And they came up quick. Like,
Yeah.
Mel was like, I don't know, I was like back of the main draw. She was with Taylor. They were like qualifier, main draw, Norseka's, and then all of a sudden she's like the best defender in the world. Like for
And
for a
Brandy
minute there.
too.
Brandy's the exact same
Yeah.
thing. All of a sudden she's the best blocker in the world. Like a year or two later.
Yeah, her and Heather had a phenomenal finish to the year last year. I think they won like 3 events in a row and got second in the other one. They lost at Norseka to
Yeah,
April.
like a year ago from right now, Brandy's not Brandy,
Yeah.
right? So like it can happen quick, for sure.
Yeah, it's weird to like think that big.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wrap our
I'm sure.
brains around that. Yeah.
Yeah, so what are the kind of the smaller, we can kind of zoom in a little bit, so what are like kind of the smaller step-by-step goals that you guys are looking at right now?
Our main goal for this summer was going to be to kind of qualify for main draws for some of the bigger tournaments. And also a big thing was to just kind of get settled with our new life in Toronto. Those were our main focuses. So even qualifying for the World Championships just like was amazing
that's
for our
huge.
summer. Like we wouldn't have expected that. Like if you had told us that we'd qualify last year, we wouldn't believe you.
Yeah.
Like it's unbelievable that we will be playing in that this year.
That's
and then
super exciting.
we've only done 1 4-star, Las Vegas, and we
Okay.
lost in the qualifier to a good young Brazilian team. So
Who beat you guys?
Tana Victoria.
We played them in the
Okay.
quarterfinals in Chetumal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Tana Lima? Is that? or-
No, these are younger girls around
Okay.
our age.
Got it.
So we know them from like the under 21.
Oh,
Worlds that
okay.
we've
So
been at.
familiar faces.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that was disappointing, and that's like our only 4-star like qualifier.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see. It's huge getting the wild card, and then China
Yeah. So China, are you qualifier or are you in?
qualifier.
Okay.
And then graduation, right after that, skipping Czech Republic.
Yeah, and then world champs.
So you guys are coming back home to graduate and then right back on to the World Tour.
Well, World Championships is end of June, and our graduation is June 13th.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I think right after graduation, we're moving to Toronto, and then we'll have maybe a week there, and then we're off to Hamburg.
Okay. Have you guys been to Hamburg yet?
No.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Get to
We
see a lot
love
of new
Germany.
places. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really mellow town.
Yeah.
It's not like it's probably like there's the least amount of distractions in that town. It's just very mellow, little coffee shops,
Oh, nice.
trees, little lakes.
We work with a German coach from Toronto. His name's Leonard Krapp. He used to coach the national team, but now he trains Heather and Brandy. So we'll practice with them sometimes. I think we're going to be on the same travel schedule as them, and we'll work with him in Hamburg. He that's where he's from, so he knows the...
Yeah. He's got the lay of the land
got the
down.
lay of the land.
Yeah.
Will you guys be in contact with Stein while you're out there?
Yeah.
Have you talked about
Yeah.
that at all?
Yeah, I'm sure we'll keep in touch. He's got so much going on with recruiting,
For
and
sure, yeah.
now the core is being renovated.
Yeah.
Like,
But he always tells us that we're always welcome back on our own expense.
Of course. Yeah,
It's really funny. We got to get Stein on the podcast.
we really
Oh, that
do.
would be very
Yeah.
entertaining.
If you
That'd be
his
talk to him-
stories, oh my
I
gosh.
bet.
I know.
We've totally adopted his lingo over the past 4 years. We'll
Yeah.
say things and people are like, what are you
Oh,
talking
there we go.
about?
I love it.
Just talking Steino.
Yeah.
Stein was he was the guy that we looked up to growing up because I grew up in Hawaii, obviously, and I knew his parents, and I mean everyone's families are really close. So yeah, I've heard that dialogue plenty, but I know that he obviously is one of the best players. I mean, one of the best players ever, you could argue, or at least one of the best minds of the game. So I'm sure you guys learned a lot there. I wish he taught me more. Damn it, Stein.
We were playing against him. You couldn't have the outrigger Rugrats taking him down early.
Dude, he should have. I never played against him.
He always talks about the game within the game. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
even
Always being
at
one step
Gulf
ahead.
Shores, it was when we were standing with our team for the national anthem, and there was like this hype video, and he's like, "That's just noise. That's a distraction."
They're trying to get an emotional response out of all of us. He said, don't watch the video.
So we're all on the end line, like all 12 of us, and we're like staring straight ahead at the USC girls on the other end line, and they're all looking up, and Stein's like, "Nope, none of you can look."
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm sure
really
the fans
funny.
were wondering what was going on.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it was a pretty cool hype video. I wanted to watch.
Did you go back
Look it
and
up on
watch it
YouTube after.
Yeah, totally.
They do such a good job with the production at Gulf Shores.
And they do it quick. Like the day before, they're taking clips of all the teams, and then
Yeah.
they put it together. It's
Yeah.
great.
And I saw the viewership was up 46% from a year ago. It's
Wow.
booming. Yeah. It was 1 million viewers. It's awesome.
crazy.
Yeah, it's huge.
NCAA has been so good for our sport as a whole, professional, everything.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see where the sport goes, because it seems like it's going up like 50% every year. The viewership and everything. AVP is probably quadrupled in the last year or two.
I was just looking at the entry list for Austin, and it's just full of college girls, which a lot of them won't even be able to get in because it's a 48 team cap and they don't have any AVP points. But it's fun to see like all these names from the college season just getting right in, and like you guys get way better training than any of the like up and coming professionals, because most of them don't have the money to spend on coaches, and like you guys have like weight training. You get
intense.
Yeah. Do you guys have like sports psychs at UCLA?
The resources are incredible. Like physio, massage therapy, weightlifters, nutritionists.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Everything.
That's one thing about going to a nice school. Obviously, I went to SC with those athletic programs that have nice facilities and whatnot.
Yeah.
It never gets better than that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You think like in your head, you're like, as a kid, every time high school is going to be awesome, college will be better, and then pros will be even sicker.
USA treats them pretty well.
No, we're pretty
decent.
spoiled here, but I went to SC. You know, I had my name on the locker. I had like a lounge with the TV, and
it's nice having everything in one condensed area, like being able to just go upstairs to our locker room, down and get physio, down to weight
you a
lift.
smoothie.
It's all in one place.
And now you have to create your team, which is actually really a cool blessing in disguise if you take advantage of it, because going to college, you pick the program as a whole, but you're not picking one coach here, that assistant, that physio, that whatever, you know?
Right.
But in our sport, if you're lucky enough to have, enough funding to do it, you can really create an entire team.
And in a way, you become the boss if you're like paying these people.
You're 100% the
demand.
boss. Yep.
Yeah.
And you're the travel agent, and you're the, whatever. You have to deal with everything. It's actually pretty cool.
In the NCAA, we always laugh about how all you have to do is play. Like you're shuttled to where you're playing. You're told like when to eat, what to wear, when you're warming up. Like you really don't have to think about anything except, okay, I have to step on the court and play.
Yeah.
And how's it been now looking at your FIV schedule and figuring out that
I know,
travel?
now I'm like, it keeps me up at night. I'm like, okay, we need to get from like our apartment in Westwood to Itapema, like by ourselves. Like,
and then from Brazil to
Vancouver.
And then, it's stressful.
And it's not one ways usually, because we're not playing in these major cities a lot of times. So, like, we've all been booking recently, going from LA to probably through Rio, or probably through Houston or something like that, to Rio, Sao Paulo. That's like the easy one. Yeah. But then we have to go to a smaller airport.
And a bus.
Yeah, so you have to go find another website, usually, sometimes, find another flight, and then make sure that you're signed up for the shuttle, if they have a shuttle. If they don't have a shuttle, you got to figure out how you're going to get to the site, to the hotel. Make sure that you're actually on the list at the hotel. I've showed up before and we weren't on the list. I'm like, well, I can't contact anyone right now, so I guess I'll just pay for the hotel and hope they reimburse me. But it's always an adventure.
Yeah. I think that's like
I feel like I'm making it sound really bad, but it's both. It's both. It's the real world.
Have you guys started kind of building your own team? Do you have a coach traveling with you, or is it just the twins?
For this next little bit, it's just us.
Yeah.
We'll sometimes bring our personal coach that we worked with in Vancouver, but now she's actually a head coach in the NCAA at Alabama Birmingham.
Oh, okay.
So she's busy with that. So I think that's kind of another thing we're going to look at doing in the next little bit. Like,
we're now
finding
carded athletes through Volleyball Canada, so they have a strength trainer, nutritionist. So they have some of those like
physio
resources laid out for us. And we've heard great things about them. So we're really excited to start working with them, too.
Okay. That's great. It'll be a fun couple weeks for you guys.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big transition.
The McNamaras taking on the world.
Yeah. I mean, it's only over 5 days post NCAA. And in that time, we were just like, national championship.
Your
not
guys'
even
lives have been
thinking
moving like at hyper speed.
Yeah. It's
exhausting. There's been a lot going on.
Exhausting but fun.
I remember we had this conversation with Sarah Sponsel last year. because she kind of did a similar thing. Have you guys talked to her at all about what it's going to be like?
Yeah,
well,
she's
already
actually
gone.
Yeah,
she left yesterday, and she's
got
gone
the
for a
quota on
month.
Tuesday.
They're doing 4 tournaments, I think, back to back.
So she's missing her graduation, which will be disappointing.
Yeah.
But
She was having to balance because she would practice with Kelly and USA
during the week.
a couple times while also training with us.
Yeah.
So I think she had a tough time balancing all of it. She had a lot on her plate.
Plus, like, school.
Plus school. Yeah.
That's like kind of on the back burner.
I know. We always kind of forget, school.
Was it hard to keep up with grades and everything? Or were you guys okay with it? I mean, you seem like you're pretty smart.
Yeah, we're pretty driven, so as much as we talk a big game, whatever, school, like we want to do well, so we ended up doing well.
We say we're pretty good at time management and like knowing when we have deadlines and doing things early before travel days. And,
Yeah.
so that was, I think that played to our advantage.
Yeah. Have you guys, do you have any time to do something non-volleyball related? Like, what do you do to, kind of unwind and just relax?
We love cooking.
Cooking?
Yeah. And watching Food Network. So that's what we'll do after a really busy day is just the two of us, we'll make dinner and...
Or big foodies, we'll try and find, cool restaurants in LA. LA's great for that. They have all the up-and-coming restaurants.
So is traveling the world.
Yeah, I know.
So you guys probably have some
people
fun
on
with that.
tour would laugh at us because in Tokyo, they were all just stoked on the food at the hotel.
Which was amazing. We did have it a couple times.
It was great. But then we found on some Netflix documentary hosted by David Chang, he talked about some pizza place in Tokyo. So we took 3 different subways to get to this hole in the wall pizza place, and it was top 3 meals of my
life. We ended
life.
up going back.
Really?
I need to hang out with you guys.
Yeah, no, we'll find the best.
Lazy person.
The best restaurant in Itapema will be there.
All right.
I think you've got to tag along for your world travels.
Yeah, exactly. I need to get out more. Sometimes you get lazy and you're just
I know.
I'm going to stay in my room.
If you go so far, you want to explore.
Might as well experience it.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Definitely recommend that. I need to remember that this time around. Go explore a little more.
It's good to balance, though. We did a little bit too much of that on our snow trip.
Yeah, probably not the way you guys did.
We came back 8 pounds heavier.
How much beer was involved in that?
Well, we were in Italy, so there's a lot of wine.
Oh, wine, okay.
Wine was $2.50 for
wine
a
and
bottle.
pasta,
So.
that'll weigh you down a little.
Yeah. And then, of course, it was Zons. He was like, "What? We're in Italy. You have to."
And it's
I can't argue
snowball.
that.
It's a test, sort of test event.
Yeah.
So.
Did it have that really competitive feeling at the
It
snow
did.
tournament?
After once you got into it, it did because the level of play was actually really high.
You guys
They
are
had,
dancing. Come on.
Well, I mean, so is Casey Patterson.
That's true.
It, just because we were having fun, but we were also
Yeah.
really competitive.
Yeah.
Well, Zon really wasn't. He got competitive, but he also when we lost, it's not like we were crushed.
No, you could tell teams were. I mean, you weren't not trying.
The Polish guys and the Russians were they were crying. So we beat this Polish team that has apparently been doing this for 10 years, and they were despondent afterwards. And the CEO of USA was there, just checking it out, and he's like, "Those guys have been doing this for 10 years, and you guys go out here and goof around." We were like, "Man, it was kind of insulting." But then they ended up winning bronze in the next event, and they were on their knees, bawling their eyes out. And, their wives came on the court, hugging them. I was "Damn, this is a serious thing."
Maybe they just got really big bonuses that you guys didn't know about.
The Polish Snow Federation's big.
Polish volleyball in general is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I feel all a bunch of all the cold weather countries are getting really good at volleyball. Poland is really good, Norway's really good, Canada. When you guys were growing up, did you expect that Canada would be such a beach powerhouse?
No.
We still get asked, how do you play beach volleyball in Canada?
Yeah.
By some people, at UCLA even.
Yeah.
Never would have expected it.
Yeah, so what do you think is kind of led to that rise in Canadian beach volleyball? Because it's kind of a recent wave of things, especially on the women's side. Brandy and Heather and Sarah and Melissa both held the number 1 position in the world at a different point last year.
I mean, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
We've been kind of in the NCAA bubble for the last 4 years, but even 4 years ago, it was our teams were doing okay, but it's not. All of a sudden, it was 1 and 3 and all these podium
now
finishes.
You see Canada in
and
the tournament, and you're that's probably a favorite. Whereas it used to be you see Brazilian teams, and it was okay, well that's probably them. But now it's the world tour is just really diversified now.
Yeah.
I feel
it's really exciting for us just to know that being in Canada, it's possible, and with all the resources and the training, like
Yeah.
that's what we're going to start doing now and doing it full time. We haven't really been full time beach volleyball players. We've always been balancing school, so
Right.
it's exciting.
Yeah, it'll be a fun new chapter.
Yeah.
And if you guys, would you consider coming back down to the South Bay?
We would
Like,
love to.
yeah.
We have this great life in LA. We love it so much. We're getting very sad to leave.
Yeah.
So ideally we'll get to a point where we can spend a month out of the year down here training like some of the other Canadian teams do.
Yeah, I'm sure it wouldn't be too hard to find a place
Yeah.
to stay.
Yeah,
Right.
Plenty of friends out here.
for sure.
Yeah. Well, I know we've kept you guys for a while here. Not that you have school to get to or anything. We'll let you
Yeah.
finally relax
Yeah.
for a night. But is there anything else you guys wanted to chat about or bring up, or anything you wanted to mention?
No, this is great.
Yeah,
It was fun
we covered
chatting
it
with you
all.
guys.
Yeah. And so where can our listeners kind of follow along your guys' journey?
We'll usually post updates on Instagram
Okay.
mostly or Facebook.
And what are the handles to find you guys?
Megan and McNamara.
Nicole C. McNamara.
All right, easy enough.
There we go.
And Troy, anything for the twins?
I mean, we gotta ask a question we ask everyone at the end of each episode, which is if you had one piece of advice for an up and coming beach volleyball player, what would that piece of advice be? For both of you.
For me, it's always heart over height.
Okay.
Just people always
I
tell
love it.
us.
We might have to make that the new
We can
chalkboard
switch
quote.
that, yep.
Yeah.
We're told all the time, like, you're too short, so
I love that.
don't listen.
That's great.
Prove them wrong.
Yeah, and just keep putting yourself out there and never give up.
Love that. Well, thank you, ladies, for taking time of your crazy busy schedule. Good luck on the world tour. We will be following along.
See you in Brazil. I heard it's nice, so
Awesome.
looking forward to it.